Hey friends, welcome to the channel. Today in this video we are going to talk about the CAS problem of CS50's week 1, right? So the very first thing that you will want to do is you will want to come to this page, which is cs50.harvard.edu/x/2024. If you're watching this video in 25, make sure to change the year here, right? After you've done that, after you are here, the first thing that you'll want to do is you want to go to week 1 on the left, and then you'll want to go to the bottom, problem set 1, and then of course you have to make sure that you have submitted these assignments. Hello, it's me, this version of Mario, either this or this. I have made videos about all the 3 assignments before. If you want, I'll drop them in the comments. And today we are going to solve this question, CAS if you're feeling less comfortable. So we'll click here to see the requirements, and the question basically is boiled down is, imagine that you are a cashier and somebody gives you certain amount of money and you have to return cents, basically coins, right? So if somebody, let's imagine that we are given $100, not $100, 100 cents, or let's just say, yeah, let's say we are given 100 cents, right? We have to charge how much? 59 cents. All right, let's say the customer purchased something of 59 cents. So basically we have to return how much? 41 cents, right? And basically the entire question has to be done in terms of cents. We don't have to consider dollars here, right? So that is really nice. Okay, so the problem that we're going to solve is, what is the best way to return coins, right? If we have to return 41 cents, we would not want to give out like 41 pennies, right, which is 1 cent coins, right? Because that would be like really weird and it will be difficult for the customer to take, and it would also like not be very good from our perspective as a business, because we will run out of coins. That is not good, right? Similarly, we also don't want to give out 8 5-cent coins and then 1 cent coin. That would be not effective, right? So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to find the most effective way of giving out, or basically returning coins, right? So okay, so we already know that we have 4 kinds of coins in the US. There's 25 cents, which is a quarter. There's a 10-cent coin, which is a dime, and then there's a 5-cent called nickel, 1 cent called penny, right? So let's say that we were given 41 cents. What would be the most effective way in which the least number of coins would go out, right? So that would be, we would want to give 1 25 cent, right? And similarly we would want to give 1 10 cent, and similarly we would want to give 1 5 cent and 1 cent. So basically this would be 1 coin, 2 coin, 3 coin, and then 4 coin. So basically this would mean coins is 4, right? And this is the exact problem that we are solving today, right? If you see here, okay, after the program is run, it would ask change owed 25. It means 1 coin, right? If the change owed was 70 cents, we would give out 4 coins. How is that? So let's say we received 70 cents, right? Or basically if we had to return 70 cents, what would we do? We would give 25 times 2, right? We would give out 2 quarters, which would be, this would be 50, right? We know this. Similarly, if we would give out how much? 2, yeah, and then we would give out 10 times 2. So this means 50 plus 20 is equals to 70, which is basically 4 coins, right? So what is the logic that we are using here, right? Let's say we have to return 41 cents. You don't have to worry about how much was received or how much is the charge. You just have to care about how much change is owed. Basically, how many coins do you, or basically how many cents you have to return to the customer. If we received 41 cents, what would we do? We would basically do 41 divided by 25, which would give us 1, right? It would give us 1 point something, but we don't really need to care about point something right now, because that will come in the remainder, right? Because remember, in C we have a divided by b, and then we also have a modulus b. This modulus sign gives us the remainder, right? And similarly, a divided by b gives us, like, if there's 1.234, for example, a divided by b will give us just the 1, right? Not the 0.234. Okay, once that is clear, what we will do is 41 divided by 25 is 1, and this will give us a remainder of how much? 41 minus 25 would be 16, right? Similarly, now we have 16 remaining, right? So we cannot do 16 divided by 25 because it would just give us 0 point something. We don't want that, right? So we will go to the nearest bigger value, that would be 10, and this would give us 1. It would give us 1.6, but the 0.6 would be the remainder. So our remainder here is 6, right? Because 10 times 1 is 10, and then the remaining is 6. And similarly, we would say 6 divided by 5, and this would give us 1 again, and the remainder would be 1, and then 1 divided by 1 is equals to 1, and this is penny. This is the logic that we are going to use, right? So for example, in the same place, if we had 70, then 70 divided by 25 would be 2 point something, right? And similarly, the remainder would be 20, and if we do 20 divided by 10, if we did 20 divided by 10, it would give us 2 dimes, right? And then remainder would be 0. So basically, like, none of this would be needed. Got it? Okay. For now, let's just skip 41 because it is easier to use since we have all the coins being used. Okay, so now let's begin programming. So the very first thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to go to cs50.dev. Once you go there, you will be asked to log in with your GitHub account, of course. So you log in. Okay, once you're here, I already have a folder called week 1, so I'll go to that folder by doing cd week 1, press enter. Okay, I already have a few folders, so I'll create a new folder for this called cas. So mkdir cas, and then I'll go to the cas folder, and then I'll code a program called cas.c. Okay, so I'll have a basic program here, and to make it useful, what I will do is, let me zoom in so that you can see properly. I'll include the basic boilerplate, which will be includes cs50.h, stdio.h. Okay, I'll include the basic header files, and then I'll say int main void, and then here the very first thing that I'll want to do is I want to take an input from the user. That will be the change, right? So for that, I'll declare a value, or basically an integer called change, and then I will want to do this. Hold on. Do this, which is change is equals to get int change old. Do this while change is less than 0 or less than 1, for example. The reason we are using the do while loop is because we want to make sure that the program first prompts the user for the change owed, and then it wants to check for the condition whether or not the change is less than 1, right? So first of all, the get int will take care of making sure that the user enters a integer, right? But the integer could also be like -1 or -4, something like that, or it could be a 0. We don't want that, right? So in order to avoid that, we are making sure it will keep repeating, it will keep prompting the user unless the value is greater than 1, right? It will keep doing this if the value is less than 1. You get the idea. right? So after we've done this, we'll go back to our basically discussion. Okay, so what are we doing here? The very first thing that we are doing is we are taking the return. Let me hide this. We are taking the amount that we have to use, and then we are dividing it by 25, right, to get the quarter. If I wanted, I could do everything here, but it would be a lot easier to use different functions, right, as we learned in the lecture. So to define our custom functions, we'll just say, okay, let me just come to the bottom and let me define a few functions. So I would say int quarter, and as an input I could say int c. Okay, this could be one of my functions, and then I could just copy it. Or another thing that I can also do is, hold on, let me just copy it, paste it, paste. Okay, so I want to declare 3 custom functions. One of them is quarter, another one would be dime, and the third one would be nickel, right? And then what we want to do is, we will not create a custom function for the penny because it's just one, and we can do it right here in the main function. So then I'll include the prototype, quarter, this dime, and then this nickel. If we don't include the prototype here, which is basically copying and pasting this, the name of our custom functions, with a semicolon, the program will crash basically, right? There will be an error. We don't want that. Okay, let me move this down a little. Okay, so let's program in the, all right, so we want to declare a few functions, or basically a few variables, and the first one of them will be okay, I want to declare an integer called, let's say, q coins, which is for quarter coins, right? And in q coins we want to store the number of quarter coins, right? That I would do by passing in quarter change, right? So basically the value that we have for change, which was entered by the user, will be passed in this function, the quarter function, right? The quarter function, and then this function should return some value, which will be the number of quarter coins, which will be stored in q coins, right? So we'll simply return the input that was provided, which is c, for all of the values. And keep in mind that we are using different functions for everything, right? Like we have different functions. So c, even if the name is same, all the c's are different, right? All the c's are the input that will be provided in the main function, right? So if I wanted, I could easily make it like c, or like c, d, e. It is totally up to me. I'll keep it c for now. It's just simple to remember, but still keep in mind, since they are different functions, the value of c is totally different, right? These are not related to each other. Okay. So what we will return is, we'll take c, which is the input, and we'll divide it by 25. That's it. That is all you need to do, right? So what will happen is, if the user enters the value 41, right? If the user enters the value 41, it will be divided by 25, and then this function will return 1. Okay. So it will return 1, which will be stored in this q coins, right? So once that has happened, what we want to do is, we want to change the value of the variable called change, right? So if the user was to enter 41 as the change, what we want to do is, we want to basically do 41 minus how much? 25, right? So how would we know it's just 25, right? A really simple way to do that is, we want to change the value of change by doing q coins, or basically 25, hold on, change minus 25, or yeah, 25 times q coins. You get the logic here? For example, if the entered value was 70, what would happen is, this would return 2, right? So 2 times 25 would be 50, and currently if the value is 70 minus 50 would be 20, and then the value of the change would be updated. That is really nice, right? And similarly what we want to do is we want to just repeat this in a way, but for different things. So okay, let's see. All right, so this is Q coins, this I want to be dime D coins, and then this I want to be nickels and coins, right? And similarly I want to change the functions, right? Dime and then nickel. Okay, so let's update the values over here as well in our custom functions. For that I'll just copy it, paste it here, similarly paste it here. I'll change it. So for dime we want to divide by 10, similarly for nickel we want to divide by 5, right? And also over here we want to change the values. When we are checking for dime, we want to reduce the value by 10, similarly times 5. Okay, this is good. All right, so after we've done this, if you will think about it properly, whoops, excuse me, if you think about it properly, we've done everything, but the only thing now remaining is our actual change, right? Basically the number of coins, right? So let me declare an integer over here called coins, right? And over here what I want to do is I want to add the number of coins. So coins would be equals to Q coins plus D coins plus N coins plus change. The reason I did plus change is pretty simple. We have the quarters, we have the dimes, we have the nickels, but we don't have the pennies, right? But if you think about it properly, as I showed you earlier, the value of change, okay, as you can see here, after I find out the nickel, the value of change, the remainder, that is basically the number of pennies, right? So I could just say plus change because we are updating change every time, right? So after we have taken out the quarter, the dime, the nickel, the maximum number of these coins, nickel, dime and quarter, after we have taken that out, the remaining number will be pennies, and it will be of course less than 5, because if it were 5 it would be 1 nickel, right? And if it is like 1, 2 or 3 or 4, it will basically be change over here, right? So let's see if our program is correct. All right, okay, another thing that I missed is we are not really like printing it out right now, right? Because if we look at our program, the demo of it, after we make gas and then after we do execute the program, the user enters the program, the user enters the change that is owed, and then we want to print it out as well, right? So for that what we will do is we'll come here and then we'll say printf, and then we simply want to print the integer, which is the number of coins, right? So for an integer we'll use the placeholder percentage I, right? And then I'll say \n because I want the pointer to go, or basically the, you know, this $sign to go in the next line. So which variable do I want to input here? That is coins. I want coins to be printed, number of coins, right? And then of course the semicolon, never forget that. Hold on. All right, here also I'm missing a semicolon. All right, okay, now let's see if our program is correct. To do that, what we'll do is we'll come back to our tab and then we'll just copy this, come over here, paste it, press enter. Let's see. All right, it looks like our program is correct. Can I go down? Okay. Okay, our program is correct. Of course, like, okay, normally what you would want to do is you would want to like basically make cas, and then you would want to run cas, and then you would want to check. If I were to say 41, it'll say 4. That's good. If I were to say, if I execute the program again and if I say 50, it would be 2 because 25, 2 quarter coins. Okay, this is good. The reason I didn't do this previously, I didn't make it because I already know it'll be correct. Okay, after we've done this, I'll just clear it, and then we'll come here and then we will check if the style is correct. And I know I have made some errors, right? For example, here should be spaces. If you wanted, you could just copy this and then paste it here and then run it, and it would show you the style errors that you have made. But what I like to do is, on the right top corner there's a button called style 50. If you click here, it will simply show you all the style errors that you have made and suggestions for it. And simply, instead of making all the changes yourself, you can just click on apply changes and it will apply all the changes. Looks good, but consider adding more comments. We don't really need the comments, it's all right. Okay, after you've done this, how do we submit? We just copy this code, we'll come here, we'll paste it, and we'll press enter. After we have pressed enter, it will say, keeping in mind the courses academic policy, blah blah blah, are you sure you want to submit this file? Don't copy paste codes from other people. That is no. Okay, yes, I'm sure that I want to submit the program. I'll press enter. After typing yes, it will say your result has been published here. So command click or control click to open it in a new tab. Click on open, and then you will see your grade. And this is when you submitted. Check 50 gave you 10 upon 10, which is basically like the full grade, which we made sure that we would get. And style 50 is 1, which is the full point. So that is good. All right, anything else we need to do? Not really, right? So the CAS is done, and now you can move on to the next week, right? And if you wanted to solve credit instead, I'll make a new video for that, so keep an eye out for that. Either way, thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, because when you engage with the channel and the video, it really helps grow the channel. And of course, these videos take a lot of time and effort to make, so any support that you show will be highly appreciated. Have a nice day. Good luck with next week's assignment. See ya.